Good morning, good afternoon, hello everyone. Yeah, I just need to confirm, guys, whether am I live or not. Just give me a minute. Yes, students. So, yeah, we are live here. And yeah, this side, Chartered Accountant Ashwini Vanushali, your tutor for APM. So, Advanced Performance Management. The most important crux and the most important thing which is highly required for students to clear the ACCA examination is to have maximum practice of the questions, isn't it? So we are supposed over here today to do the mock paper, and students, if you want to clear it with a good and a consistent marks, I really would want to say you that without the mock papers you will not be in the position to write it, because if I have not practiced the mock paper, how will I get a confidence? Okay, this answer is something which I know. Yeah, isn't it? Or maybe you will not be in the position to, like, first of all, if I'm going to write the paper and if I see something different question, my mind will initially not start working in the direction that it should run, isn't it? So, students, to be more beautiful, I would like to tell you that we are going to do the mock paper for first. Okay. So, without any further delay, let us just understand the mock paper. So, yeah, guys, I hope the previous sessions that you have seen, basically the important topics which I have taken, might be useful for you, isn't it? Yeah. So, going ahead with the most important topic which we need to do, and which I know most of the students are eagerly waiting to know, that is basically the mock papers. So, okay, students, I am just opening it up. Basically, it is APM September mock question paper. So, it's September mock question paper which we are going to solve it. Okay. I am trying to over here show you the question. I will also show you the answers, how it is written. Why? Because if I just try to explain you both the functions, that is question also I'll read it, maybe answer also I'll do it. So will not be enough in the position to complete it within a short span of like 2.5 hours or 3 years. So yeah, without any further delay, let's just see the question paper. Just give me a minute. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's just open it. I hope the question paper is visible, guys. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So students, this is what I have taken up from the examination. So if I go to the examination which we have already discussed in the first session, that is how does the paper comes. So basically the paper is for 100 marks, that we know. But out of 100 marks, we are supposed to write only for 80 marks. Yes, 20 marks are for professional marking. Because I really hope the students who are giving APM, this paper is the last paper for you. Yeah, this is what I expect. Or maybe the second last, yeah, for sure. And after that, you are soon going to be the professionals. So if you're going to be the professionals very soon, they would want you to write the answer in very professional language, isn't it? So they are going to allot you marks according to the language you pretend. So if you would have read the thing, yeah, 20 marks are for your communication. So how good you are to communicate your CEO, maybe to the person to whom it is to be directed, or to be like like I need to just inform whosoever to whosoever I'm returning, or like say writing the draft notes. Up next second, you should write it in a professional skepticism, considering your mind very alert, considering over here the analysis and evaluation, such that you can achieve the commercial acumen too. And students, you get 20 marks. And yes, trust me, students, we get marks. And that is what makes the APM a good subject. Yeah. But you get basically 3 hours and 15 minutes. If you can see, it's 3 hours and 15 minutes paper. Yeah. It's 3 hours and 15 minutes paper, guys. 3 hours and 15 minutes. So basically, if I can just write it over here, I get nearly around 195 minutes, isn't it? I don't think like it's a very short span. No, no, not at all. Over here, maybe I can just, okay, yeah. It's, if you can see, okay, I'll not just write it over here. I can make things over here. Okay, it's nearly 195 minutes. If it's 195 minutes, I know to write for 1 mark, I can get nearly 2.4 minutes. So I don't think it is a lesser time. No, it's enough time. Okay. Students, we have the paper is divided. Okay. I think it's clearly visible. Or I'm coming in between. No, it's visible, right? Okay. Students, the paper is divided into two sections, and we know both the sections, section A and section B. In section A, I have only one question. Yes, only one question worth 50 marks. And in section B, I have two questions worth 25 each. Out of the first question, which is worth 50 marks, 40 marks are to be returned and 10 marks for your professional marking. Same way for section B also. There are two questions, 25, 25. 25 marks out of 25, 20 marks I get it to write the paper and 5 for professional marking. Same goes with the second question also. So you may ask me, okay, ma'am, do we have any MCQ type questions or like objective type? So I'll say definitely no. It's a professional marking. So it's a professional paper. It's a P level paper where we don't have like objective type question. No, it's completely theoretical and subjective using our brains and intelligence too. Okay. So yeah, without any further delay, yeah, just take some few minutes like to just have an overview for the instructions and yeah, we can proceed for sure. Okay. So yeah, take few minutes and just read it for sure. Okay, yeah. Don't open this paper until you start writing, etc. etc. So okay, they have written a lot of stuff, which is obviously printed in your paper. Now, about section A, what is the type of question? So we know, students, it's a compulsory question, which we have to write it. If it's a compulsory question, which you have to write it for sure. So you have to first of all read it, which is worth 50 marks. So guys, if the question worth 50 marks, you yourself know it is not going to be a shorter question. Just let me check it for once. Yeah, are we live or not? Like just for a while. Yeah, just a minute, huh, students? Yeah, yeah, we clearly like. Yeah, okay. I was just figuring it out this stuff because I need to get it into an access clearly. Okay, chalo, cool. Yeah, so no further delay. Yeah, we are going to do it and complete it within a shorter period. Cool, chalo. Okay. Students, if it is question 1 which is 50 marks, it cannot be a small question. It needs to be a full-fledged question. So what we'll do, we'll read the story for first. So students, the biggest trick, whenever there is a question, when we have a lot of exhibits, start reading from the requirement. You will get to know in which chapter they are going to link it. Okay, what are the topics with which I have to think it. Okay, and some of these topics I have told in my normal YouTube live classes that yeah, this topic becomes important. This topic becomes important. If you would have watched that, it would have been beneficial for you. If not, nevertheless, you can even watch it. Okay. So if you can see, this is the first question which is compulsory, and question number one they have given a lot of stuff they have given. Okay. So the first point, the second point, maybe the exhibits, third exhibit, okay, fourth exhibit. And we know there is a concept which is known as appendix. In the question also we would have seen appendix. What appendix? Means something like which needs to be calculated also. Okay. Over here it's a requirement about the question. I'll make the requirement with red color. So yeah, some requirements are presented over here. Question number one's requirement. Then question number two's requirement, B's requirement. After 11 marks, I'll just go puppet. Question number three's requirement. Then question number four's requirement. And question number five's requirement also. So we can get it if you just to see the markings, guys. Yeah, if you just see the markings. The first question is for 13 marks. 13 plus 11 comes up with a good marking. Then it's 8 marker question. Then it's 8 mark and 6 marks. Okay, I'll just delete it off. So yeah, and over here it's written okay, Baba, we get the professional markings also. And the professional markings will be allotted over here is 4. Why, guys? I have chosen up the paper which was basically in 2019, and the things have changed recently. Why? Because in that questions, you were having some less questions, and I want us to do more questions in practice. So that's the reason. Nothing, no concept, no strategy has been changed. Okay. So yeah, without any further delay, we'll be seeing what have they given. Achha, they have some appendix also. Means some calculative part also they have. There is appendix 1. Okay. Huge terms. For that we have some notes. Then we have appendix 2 also, which we are supposed to read it along with the stuffs. Cool. Then we have section B's question. Okay, so big question, yes. So just imagine, we just cannot ignore. Okay. Yeah. Now let's start with the first question. They have told you guys to draft a report. To draft a report. So if we want to draft a report, it is something like in the format of letter writing type, report writing. Like I have to write to somebody, yeah, on the date, what is the subject for which I'll be writing, and so on, correct? Yeah. So whom to write? To draft a report for the board of the crown, or maybe this is my company, which responds to the instructions for the work in certain areas. Okay. First, there is a question regarding evaluation of fit between the current KPIs and the CSFs. So we have to understand what are the current key performance indicator which are performing well for the show, but if not perform well in long run, it will not achieve your critical success factors. So maybe there will be some stuff which we have to identify, and definitely we'll identify it. Second, evaluation of how well the critical success factor reflect the competitive pressure. Maybe there will be some another competitor. I have to consider my CSFs. I'll see how good they are and how can I impact more. Okay, so maybe that can be a situation. So yeah, evaluate how well the CSFs reflects the competitive pressure of the company. That also worth 11 marks. So don't you think it's a chapter number 1's query? Yeah, CSF and KPI, we did it in the first class of Introduction to Strategic Management. Yeah, maybe that could be helpful for me. In the yesterday's revision video, we have learned about this, the benefits of introduction TQM, which is worth 8 marks. That's total quality approach, total quality management. How will I maintain the quality? What are the costs incurred in the quality maintenance? Yes, some cost of good confidence, bad confidence, and a hell lot of things. Okay, so yeah, let's understand it. Which I told my students is going to be important, and it always comes in the paper is this benefits of benchmarking. Benefits of benchmarking. So when it's benchmarking, definitely we have a company to be compared with. So my company over here, if I can analyze it, my company is Crown Oak. Crown Oak. Okay. And if you see, I am supposed to compare it with some performances against the Hendersons. Okay, so it's basically some Hendersons. Cool, I'll compare it with the Hendersons company also. Okay. Last, the benefits of including the long-term performance measure. Okay, what is a long-term performance measure? We need to know in the bonus scheme. Okay, and they have written Professional marking will be allotted, and that is 4 marks. But now we are very lucky that we don't have to write it for like 50 marks. We have to just write it for 40 marks. Okay. Okay. Then it's an appendix over here. I'm not going ahead. But if it's this situation, my company's Crocs budget and Crocs actual, maybe there is a comparison. Along with that, if you remember, there is some benchmarking. My company's actual scenario and Henderson company's actual scenario, maybe that can be compared. Yeah, and some things are given. Along with that, over here, if you can read it over here, there is units sold and what are the prices. So basically, whose units they are talking to you about? Maybe there is something the companies own. Yeah, the actual prices and all. So maybe it is individual companies. That is, my company owns Crohn's company only. They are talking about it. Okay. And yeah, then we'll have second number question. Okay, I can do like that because I'm going to formulate the answer here. Going to develop the answer here to help you out. Yeah, we'll just read it the first point. Yeah, we'll just read it the first. From start, we will read the question. Okay. Yes. Over here, my question starts, and this is where we are going to learn it. Okay. Just take a break of 1 minute, drink water, and start with the question because we are not going to take any break as and when we read the question. Okay. Just a second break. Yes, students. So yeah, let us start with the first question. Okay. So this question is compulsory and it needs to be attempted. So yeah, you are the management accountant. So they are telling about us. Yeah, that we are the accountant, management accountant at the Crown Oak Construction Company. Okay. So this is my company, Crown Oak, Crown Oak. Like it was on and on saying this word. So yeah, that is my construction company. And you have been working with the directors of on the number of issues. Okay, so who am I over here? And you have been working with the directors on the number of issues related to the company's performances. So what are the problems that you are working on and you want the solutions for? So the company's information and mission statement says that my company is a well-established company. So maybe the story, now initially the background and the story is given of the company. Okay, we'll read it slowly. The Crown of Construction Company is a well-established listed company. Okay, it's a listed company based in the Western European country. Okay, cool. It specializes in the construction of timber frame buildings such as, okay, so they are doing some construction work and they are very good in the terms of what are they preparing? Like construction of timber frame buildings such as barns, garages, carports, etc. So if you read this word, you will understand it over here, which are to be built to order. If you read these words, what are the stuffs they are making it? And if you read this annexure, which is provided to you in the second part, they have told that what are the units which the company sells. Is it so? Barns, garages, and carports. Okay, so these are some prices at which they sell, and this is what the normally company makes a sales for. Okay, this company makes the sales for. Okay, which are to be built to order. Way back, traditionally, my company has always been using the very beautiful means na over here. This oak crown oak company was using the very good timber and they used to manufacture. But using the original timber was actually very costly. Okay, so original timbers are allegedly very costly. Okay, so what happened traditionally, the company has always been using the timber sourced from its own country and it prides itself on using the timber because it's a good resource. Okay, what was the company's mission is to create the value for our shareholders through constructing a high quality, cost effective thing and sustainable produce. So this is their mission. Okay, cool. Now what they want the customers to be satisfied. The customer satisfaction and the service has always been their key elements. Okay, so what's that? Customer satisfaction and service. So they want to give the customers very much happy and they want to allow the services very well. Okay, cool. That's their main motto. The board has identified some critical success factors. Now, this is important. You remember the question, there were some critical success factors. So basically, the company wants to achieve the customer satisfaction and giving them a proper services. For achieving those, what were the very critical success factors which the company cannot ignore it? Yeah, so these are the important success factors, which are to improve the productivity by using the leading edge construction techniques. So what I have to do? I have to increase the productivity. Means initially, if I could produce, let's say 1000 units, I want to increase the productivity using very important techniques. That is, with the old techniques, people can survive. But to increase it, to make it a very beautiful, we have to learn some new techniques and the technologies. Yeah, there may be the situation. Then to maximize the profit. Okay, now I want to over here. Okay, I can make this very important. That is, so yeah, it's not visible now, isn't it? Okay, I can make this way and can make the stuffs with the dark blue color. Okay, okay, so these are the basically critical success factors for the company to improve the profitability and to improve the productivity. Within a shorter span, you have to increase the productivity. If it's one unit, tomorrow it needs to be two. Then, because of more sales, my productivity will increase, my profits will increase, and to maintain the customer satisfaction by giving them the happy services. Okay, so this is what the company's background is. So, this was all about the Crown Oak Construction Company. Understood? Yes. Now we know, if you remember one concept, which was, yeah, benchmarking. Benchmarking says that we need to have a competitor with whom I need to compete. Means with whom I need to compare my financials with. What are they good at and what am I not so good at? How can I improve considering their performances to the top notch? Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead. So competitive atmosphere and the environment. Historically, my company, Crown Oak and Henderson Construction, like basically if you see now, these were the only two people who were dealing into the timber things, okay. They were good in the construction. So it's Crown Oak and Henderson. So I'll say C and H company, okay, have been the two main companies in the market, but recently a new competitor. Okay, if you see, these are the two parties who are already existing, but there's a new party who came across was ProTim. Now this ProTim is doing what, guys? Now what he is doing, he's not actually using that original timber. He is doing some cost, he is incurring, but at a cheaper rate he is selling it. Not using the original timber, instead using the cheaper thing, okay? Instead using the cheaper thing. Okay, let's move ahead what they have entered. So historically, the two companies were the main competitors, but a new company came up, that is ProTim, has entered the market. Now, what about this ProTim? So this ProTim is based in another European country, okay? What it makes, guys, it makes the pre-packaged timber frame buildings, which are much quicker to construct. Yeah, because they have some directly assembled things and all. So it's easier to make it to construct than the crown owns historically. However, this is important. However, not all the timbers of ProTim comes from the sustainable resources. Okay, they don't come from the sustainable resources. It's okay. In response to the threat from the ProTim, just imagine if you are getting some at a price, some cheaper price in the market. So it will be a threat for the company. Maybe if I am not able to touch that position, maybe I'll be out of the market, isn't it? Yeah, that can happen eventually, right? Now what happened? Now what happened over here? However, not all the timber used in the ProTim buildings comes from a sustainable sources. In response to the threat from the ProTim, what happened? My company is having a threat. Crown Oak. Oh my God, the ProTim is just selling at a very cheaper rate. Maybe I will not be in the position to serve the same. Then what? Then what? Isn't it? So in response to the threat, my company's director have decided to move into a building of pre-assembled wooden structure imported. Okay. Means what? My company thought of chalo na, let us also start another thing. Means let me start something which I can also compete at a cheaper price. Oh my God, that is what they thought. My company thought. Okay. Just if you can read it, yeah. So what happened? In response to the threat, the company have decided to move to a building of pre-assembled wooden structure, imported, and pre-assembled buildings are cheaper than what my original build-to units were. Okay, and the director believes that there is a need of cheaper product also, as the interest rate has recently started because in the market, you know, there is an inflation and deflation. If there is an inflation, maybe that all stuff can also impact. Okay. Okay. A move of such analyst belief could threaten the economy of my country. Okay, cool. Now what happened? Do you think the move is clear? So yeah, the move into the new market will involve considerable investments. Why? Guys, if I want to enter into market, don't you think that I have to put some capital? Yeah, ma'am. I have to purchase some fixed assets. Yeah, for making the machineries and all I require. So what they have told, if I enter into the new market, I will require the new non-current assets for sure. Okay. And it will lead to additional direct labor cost also. So yeah, my cost will also increase. My company has already begun to purchase the new equipments required. As this is a growing market, the director believes that it is longer term, and yeah, they feel that okay, Baba, today if you are purchasing some assets, you're charging depreciation and all, it's okay. Because in longer term, you'll have profits. So they are thinking from the long term perspective rather than just a cost. Okay, easy? Okay. Now what next? By contrast, the director of the Henderson, who's Henderson? See guys, there are three companies. Yes, there are three companies. The first company was, my company was what? Yeah. My company's name was, yeah, Chronok. The new company which entered was Protem, and this is another which was already existing. Yeah, good competitor. What they did, they didn't change any plan. Whatever stuff they were making it, they just continued it by doing a small improvement. Okay. So over here, the directors of Henderson has decided to concentrate on maintaining the current market share and has no plans to grow in developing the new products. They don't want to grow. No plans, no further plans like that. However, the company continues to monitor its cost. If they continue to monitor its cost, in the long run, it's a possibility that they can increase the efficiency by reducing the cost. That can happen. Okay. Now, what about the performances are given about the company? Okay. About the performance report, the monthly reports, okay, the monthly reports are produced by the board of the director, include summary of the financial information and KPIs. The accountant has already calculated the KPI figures also, which is given in appendix 1. So we have to understand the appendix 1. Let's see what is appendix 1. It's given. Okay, we'll read it appendix 1 also. In that they have given about the corrected KPI figures. Okay, cool. The current KPIs are selected. The key performance indicators are selected by the company's previous finance director. Okay, the current KPIs are selected by some previous finance director. Arey Baba, what previous director would have done may not be 100% true. Maybe I also need to revise it. See, it can be revised. Who had worked for the company for a number of years before he retired? Okay, last year he retired. However, the current finance director, the new finance director, who was recruited from another construction company, is concerned that the company is not paying sufficient attention to the market share and cost control. Okay, the current finance director is more of concern with what? So he feels that these things are ignored. The market share and the cost control is ignored. Okay, he has suggested that my company should be updated. Okay, should be updated. Although there is little enthusiasm to do so. Okay, we will see how can it do it. The finance director wants you to give your views on the two important aspects. Now, what are the two important aspects? Guys, this is important, okay? These are the two important aspects which we have to consider it before we write anything. Yeah. Firstly, he wants your thoughts on how the key performance indicator fits with this critical success factor. He has asked that you have to take each CSF in turn and evaluate them. Cool. Secondly, he wants you to evaluate the extent to which the CSFs reflect the competitive pressure. Okay, so maybe there is something like competitive pressure we have to keep our concentration on. And over here, we have to ask that take each CSF in turn, okay, and then evaluate. Okay, so there is some recent event happened, okay, about them. They have told it. So this was the stuff who was encouraging these things to do. There was my finance director. Up next, what my operating director did. So my operations director has raised his concerns about the validity of the budgeted figures for the last year. So he don't know whether whatever figures he has made in the budgeted figures are valid or not. Okay. He is aware that the company's performance has been worse than the budget. He know that the company is not working well, but pointed out that the budget has not been anticipated the new market entrant and also did not accurately consider the mix of the product. Oh, means what? Whenever the budget was made, guys, whenever the budget was made, it was not made considering that my company, my Kronok, wants to enter with that assembled thing, isn't it? Yeah. So they just ignored that and they made the budgets. If the budgets are made wrong, definitely the comparison will also be wrong. Obviously, isn't it? Yeah. So considering that view also, we have to just analyze them. Okay. In particular, the number of customers undertaking the bans. This is important. This bans. If you see, the people who were liking bans, so if you remember, there were certain products which the company was selling it. Initially, I just wrote it, yeah. Bans, gar garages and carports. So this bans now people are not liking so much of bans. So people want to shift like, okay, maybe in particular, the number of customers undertaking bans conversion has fallen significantly as a result of the recent increase in the interest rate, which had made the customer more reluctant to take out the loans needed to fund the project. Okay, so maybe there is a situation now that people don't want this and they need to take out the loans if they want to purchase that or may want to enter into that. Okay, what my operating director thought now. Okay, my operation director is also concerned about the increase in the number of jobs. Yeah, where my company has to carry out its remedial work. Okay, after the initial construction has been complete. He is also concerned that the current performance of the company is not so good and there is a distinction between what am I okay he want to distinguish between what can be the remedial cost and construction cost. Okay, clear? Yes. Constantly he is thinking that what is the cost of quality. If it's function cost of quality, if you want to understand it, there is a concept of TQM. Yes, in that we can understand it. So what's TQM? As such, he has suggested, okay, my operating director or my finance director has suggested, okay, if you want to like reduce the cost of the quality, you want good quality, do this TQM. Ah, it's good, good. He's intelligent. So that he suggested that the company would get benefits from introducing the TQM approach to manage the resources and projects. He has also helped us. He has asked us the help. Okay, we'll help him for this approach. Yeah. So what are the company's name? Okay, my company is Crown Oak. Another company was Henderson, with whom I have to compare my financials. And a new company was Protem. Okay, now what happened? The benchmarking. Benchmarking means obviously a comparison. So the finance director wants to present a report in the board meeting looking at my performance in the last year as well as the performances of the issues. He want me to write a draft report, and whose comparison is required, guys? The comparison of Crown Oak's performance with Henderson is something which has to be included in the summary. Yes, guys, I hope you guys are understanding. So my performances with the Henderson is asked. Okay, so we can make the benchmarking reports. Cool. Although the finance director has agreed that it should be retained in the information pack. Okay, so they have to just keep it. Okay, cool. And they have asked us to prepare the benchmarking and also show what are the benefits. Cool. We can show them. Considering appendix 1. For that also you have to see the appendix 1. Why? And he'll get the figures and comparison becomes easier. Yes? Simple. What about the bonuses? Last but the least topic over here is the bonuses. So they have written, my company operates a bonus scheme for its management and staff. However, in order to be eligible for bonus in any year, the company's actual profit. Now they have given a chart. Your company's profit, if it reaches more than this, you guys get the bonus. Yeah. So what is the thought they have kept? So they told the company's actual profit before IT must be above budget. Okay. What's that? The actual profit. Whatever they get, the profit should be more than the interest, like more means profit before interest and tax, PBIT. Okay, should be more than whatever you make the budget. As profits for the current year were low budgets, no bonus are paid. Okay. However, what my remuneration committee says, however, my remuneration committee is currently reviewing the bonus scheme and is considering, chalo na, let us introduce one new scheme that is known as long-term incentive plan. The finance director has helped us to please give us like what can be better, including the benefits of making long-term plan or maybe the short ones. So a lot of stuffs are given that we read in the requirements. We'll read it one by one. And some portion of my appendix is also given. Okay, just a minute. I hope you guys are getting it, yes? Now let's read the appendix. Okay, what's the first appendix, students? They have given that is, please find out the key performance indicators. So what's that? The first appendix goes ahead with the key performance indicators for the year ended on 31st March 2025. Okay, so they have given about the budgeted and the actual data of my company, that is Crown Oak. Okay, I'll just make it like not more bigger, but I think it's visible. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Now, what are the stuff that they have given about the actual performances, about the budget? If I'll just read it without making any understandings. Okay, units sold in the year. I made a budget of 41K. Eventually, the sales was only 40,000. 360 means it is lesser. It's less. But if I compare it with the Henderson, it's obviously less. So maybe in the benchmarking I write. Then about the gross profit, they have given something in note 2. So yeah, if I just see the gross profit, I thought of 30.5%, but it's lesser, 23 only. And Henderson is actual more. What is the note 2? Let's read the second note. Okay, let's read the second note. The gross profit, whichever they have provided over here, yeah. So the gross profit is calculated as revenue less the variable cost. So what's GP? Normally it is known as the contribution means over here, sales minus the variable cost. So over here also, revenue less the variable cost for any material, temporary or on-site construction or subcontract and quality cost. All other costs are fixed cost, okay, considered. My company's actual average number of on-site staffs was 2200. If I compare it with the number of the units for 2000, means if you understand like how many staff the company was having, basically the company was having actually 2200 staff, but when it compares to the budget it's 2000, and actually the Henderson is having 2500 staff. It's okay, it's okay, maybe that would be relevant. Okay, third, average sale price they have kept, okay, per unit. I thought like it would be 1111, but actually the company has to keep the selling price lesser. Okay, it's have to keep the selling price lesser as compared to Henderson. So maybe the contribution means sales minus the variable cost, or we can even say basically revenue minus the variable cost is the contribution income per unit. I thought like I should get more, but I'm getting eventually less. Compared to Henderson also I'm getting less. Cost, quality cost. Maybe my cost will be more than what I assumed. Okay, so quality cost is like 240, 248. It eventually should be only 195 as what I thought. And this Henderson is having very less. Okay. Then they have written ratio of fixed to variable cost, which is mostly going to be fixed. So it's 0.23 is to 1 over here, 0.19 is to 1. Cool. Return on capital employed. Okay, how much income you're getting it and how much you have invested. Yeah, return on ROC. Yes. It should be 13.3 percentage, but on my company, it's actually only 4.5 percentage, which is very less. And compared to Henderson, oh my God, it's 22 percentage. We are having very less. No, not so good. An average customer satisfaction score, we know. I just tell them, okay, please give me the feedback. So they'll click on the scores, right? 1, not satisfied. 5, full of 5 or 5, they are youth satisfied. I expected like I should get a score of 4, but I obviously get 3.5. And if it's over here for Henderson, it's not applicable. So maybe they'll not be having any customer feedback stuff and all. Okay, cool. Up next, certain notes are given. We'll just go through the notes. The total market of timbered frame buildings in my company's country is $1,670 millions of the whole company. Previous year, it was 1,585 millions. Okay, so maybe this year it's a growth of good percentage. My company, what happened? My company, Coke's company, total revenue for the year ended was 439, and the previous year it was 434, which shows not so much of growth happened. Means compared to the size in the market, it is increasing. What is the percentage of growth I am expecting? Let's say the percentage in the market. Just imagine, do it now. 1670 minus 1585 divided by 1585 into 100. So obviously it's a growth of like 5.3 percentage. So eventually, even my sales should increase by 5.3 percentage. In the previous year, it was 434 plus 5.6 percentage comes to 458. But I don't think like so much of revenue has increased compared to my market size. It's just the random thing. I read the question and I understood it. Yes, it's nothing like for these things we need to learn something. No, no, no. It's something which is common, isn't it? Yeah. Then we have read this. Yeah, we have read this question, yeah, about the gross profits. Yeah, revenue minus variable cost and all. And what I was having basically 2200 stuff. Actually, made a budget of only 2000. So I am actually having more stuff. So obviously my cost will be more compared to my competitor. My competitor are having 2500. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Now what's in third point? At the end, they have written that okay, we do that customer review. So there is a short questioning. Who is more satisfied gives me a rating of 5, and not satisfied will give me a rating of 1 that we know. The last appendix and the last procedure that they have sold about the units sold and the prices. So students try to understand. They will not give any directions for your benchmarking. So it's just about my normal company, which they have different products, right? You saw band, and people don't like now bands. Yeah. So I thought of having a sales of 6790 units, but eventually I could make up a sale of 5437. That is lesser than what I thought. For garages, you made a sales which is more. But you remember the question that was written, okay, whatever you made, the budgets are not proper because you didn't consider the new thing which came up. Yeah, they have entered into new parts. So maybe your budgets are wrong. Okay. Cars, carport. Actually, I thought of okay, 10,660 should be my budget, but eventually I made a high sale. Others also what I thought and what I made the sales. Okay, cool. And this is what the price per unit is given. Okay, I am okay with the question. Yeah, I don't think there is any doubt. So actual prices of each product remains same with the budgeted ones also. So the prices are over here constant. Only this stuff has changed. Clear? Now we have to formulate writing the answer. So students, this much time it takes if you want to understand and learn it, unless until we have practiced the questions. Okay. So what's the first question they have asked us? Draft a report. Now what I have to do, guys, I have to formulate an answer. I have to show them in the report format. Okay. To whom should I report it? What is my name of the answers? And etc. etc. So yes, students, I have already made it the answers. So that is what I'm going to show you. Yeah. So my first answer comes up over here is writing the report. So if it's a suggested report, how will I mention it? Guys, my suggested answer says, first of all, to whom shall I report it? To the board of the company of Oak. Who am I? Maybe I am the finance director. Write today's date. And what is the problem? Problem was management issues. Yeah, to solve the issues. So yes, students, I have to just formulate writing the first answer. So how will I do it? Yeah, over here, I'll just formulate solution. I'll just formulate this. That is what is my suggested answers. We have to report it. We have to report it basically. Yeah. We have to report it to the board of Oaks, company's Oaks. From whom? From the finance director. Cool. Write today's date and at the last we have to write the performance reports. So this is what I can do it. Then what is my introduction? Like what have they given us in the question? So if you remember, we have to give them a report regarding what are the stuff happened in the question. Yeah, what all things are required? If you can read the question, they have asked us the functions about what, guys? Read the question. They want something about current KPIs and CSFs. They want to reflect how the competitive pressure is there on my company. What is TQM approach? What are benchmarking approach? And what is the long-term performance? Guys, when we write down situation for the answers, please copy all those stuffs. Whatever is the subject, whatever you have to formulate. So that becomes your introductory part. So give the introduction. See, it's a full-fledged mark giving answer. So what to do? Just simply copy it and paste it. So what are you going to record it? What are you going to write it in your answers is, see, it's very simple. It's very simple. Okay. It's very simple. To report evaluates the effectiveness of my company's KPIs and CSFs. Along with that, what was the word? We have to even show the competitive effect. Yes. I have to explain the benefits of TQM. Yes. See, I'm trying to make it easy, isn't it? Yes. Then some concepts of benchmarking's benefit also you have to write it. Yes. And that's reports you have to write it facing the issues for your long-term performance management and balancing between them. So students, wasn't it easy? Yes, it is. It is. Okay, cool. So this is what I have just wrote about the introduction. Up next. What is the first question they have asked is, okay, please prepare the reports. Please prepare the reports. Please prepare the reports aligning between the CSS and KPIs. So over here, what will I write it? Value of the performance reports in addressing the links between CSS and KPIs. How will I link them? So first, if you remember, there was three types about the CSS and KPIs. If you remember, there are three types of problems that the question had. Yeah. Don't you think this was a question? This was a scenario? I'll just copy it and I paste it over here. This is what the customer satisfaction was. So when you read the first question, it is presented that, see, it's very big now, so maybe you'll feel like, oh, going up and down. So it's a 13 marker question A. Evaluate the fit between KPIs and CSS. Okay, we'll just mention that. We'll just try formulating the answers. For these now students, this is the questions above para. This is the paragraph which is there for the from the notes I have taken. So first is what? To improve the productivity by using these techniques. So how will I improve my productivity? How will I improve my productivity? First of all, over here, what I am engaged with, guys, what am I engaged with? So see, guys, I'm just writing it over here. Over here, how many units? Productivity means I want to sell the units. So what is my units, guys? If you see, normally my bands in the current year, BARS bands, people are not liking it because the things have changed. So over here, the number of units, over here, the number of units sold in the month provides an indication of how productivity the company is. Because the built to order model is over here, needs to be built and they have to sell it. However, there are certain limitations also. So first, the number of the units sold will be influenced by what? Customers demand. Yeah, customers demand. So the measure over here does not take account into the large type of things, like for example, such as carports and all. But you know that it takes a lesser time when it is to bands. So how much bands? As Appendix 2 has indicated that the number of bands has reduced. Can you tell me by how much they have reduced the productivity? Check the Appendix 2. Have they given? Yes. If I just ask you guys, they have made the budget of 6970, right? And actually they are able to make only 5437. Can you tell me what's the percentage of reduction? 5437 minus like 67970 minus like divided by 5437. Do you get nearly about like 22 percentage? Yeah? 6790 minus 4. Am I getting nearly around 20? Yeah, just a minute. Okay, so what budget I made it? I made a budget of 6970. Actually, I could make it 5437 divided by, if you do it, guys, divided by 2, sorry, divided by 6970. So if I can write it in the solution, yeah, if I can write it in the solution over here. Okay, I don't know whether will I be able to write it or not. I'll just copy it. For bands, over here they have given, this is my actual. Okay, this is my actual. Means your actual is very less. Agreed? Yeah, my actuals are very less. So my actuals are very less. Actual. And this is my budgeted one. This is my budgeted ones. Okay. So please consider that budgeted minus actual divided it by budgeted. If you do, you get some percentage for sure. Are you getting some percentage of 22%? Yeah. And if you consider about another changes which they have provided in the question was, so to write like this, as per appendix 2, the number of banks construction has been reduced of 22% of what I made the budget for. Okay, perfect. Yes. Up next, what was given in the question? If over here, if I say, guys, after bands, is there any change for carports? Yeah, carports, ma'am. I thought of 6560, but it is reduced. Reduced by how much percentage? So please do 6560 minus 5575 divided it by the budgeted one, 6560. Are you getting nearly about 15% reduction? So okay, it's about others. It's about others. It's about others. So others are 15% reduction. What about carports? I made a budget which is lesser, isn't it? Minus the original one. Yeah. Oh, ma'am, it's more, isn't it? Yeah. So by how much more it is? Is it nearly 5% more? Do budgeted minus actual divide by budgeted. As if it's carport, it's more. How much more? 5%. Agreed? Yes. So I'll just try to formulate the answer over here. So guys, if you can see this, the carports are basically 5%. Okay, so it's good. If the number of units, just try to read it the question. Okay, just try to make the things clear. If the number of units built to the number of employees, means how much you're making it and how much you're comparing it. For example, in the question, if the number of units built is compared with the number of employees, this could indicate how productive the company is and what type of equipments and all they have. Okay, although that could be the situation, then however measuring the units sold, it does not provide the proper information to the extent to which the company is doing the leading edge construction techniques. I know they have entered into some techniques, but how good they are, that is not sure, isn't it? The fact that the company is moving into the pre-assembled house market and acquiring new assets is not enough. Okay, it's not enough. However, it is difficult to access how far these techniques are going to be useful for their productivity. Also, in future, it could be useful to even subdivide it into the traditional and the pre-assembled thing so that it can be easily comparable. So because all these things are two types. If you remember, yeah. So this was my first indicator. What is my second indicator? What have they given up my second indicator as? Yeah, if you remember, beyond that, we have some other indicators also with which I can compare it. So guys, it's my profit percentage, gross profit. Okay, to maximize the profits. So can I get to know about something about my gross profit? So what's the gross profit, guys? In any of the questions, if you get the GP, if you remember in the question it is given, when I want to check the proficiency, I am having over here the percentage of gross profits. What I made it, I budgeted, and what is my actual? My actual is lesser than what the budgeted are. Yeah, so this is my gross profit is lesser. So it is possible that the gross profit margin obtained on each building could provide an indicator of efficiency. It could be an efficiency. However, there are potential limitations by using it. For example, the company may not be able to control the raw material cost and the prices of the timber also. So maybe whatever budget you made it, but if you cannot control on the prices, neither you can control all the costs, then obviously if you have to pay, you have to pay. There is no other ways. So the gross profit cannot be manipulated on your own, right? Maybe. Also, it is not clear if any quality control work, for example, is undertaken on the permanent stuff. Like that also, I don't know. So maybe that could be a situation. Up next, over here they have given the time periods also. Now, what was the second plausible thing if I want to maximize the profits? Second important thing was if I want to maximize the profit, what are the risks and acceptable thing? So if you see the profits, I can get the GP ratio. Agreed? Yes, ma'am. We have the gross profit percentage also. So if I see the gross profit percentage, I feel okay. If I'm making the comparison, it's less. Okay. Then what I have, guys? I have contribution per unit. Okay. Even that is less. So these are the key performance indicators regarding the profit. Means your GP ratio is also not so good. Your contribution is also not so well. Okay. That is also not so good. What about the profits may over here? I can understand like say the GP ratio, I understood it. Let's say contribution, I understood it. Okay, that is also profits. Then ma'am, return on employed, capital employed. Oh my God, that is also not so good. Yeah. Then what I do have? Do I have anything else? Yeah, some gearing ratios. Oh my God. So people are not satisfied. Okay. So these are certain ratios which are not so good. So whatever is not good now, guys, I just have to copy and just elaborate things. That's all. Okay. Let me start writing the answer about the second point, which is known as maximizing the acceptable risks. Okay. So the first thing over here comes is about the profit percentage. So if you see, your GP percentage are very less. Yeah, your GP percentage are very less. Okay. So what's the gross profit percentage? Including the GP ratio, as a KPI, it should encourage on focusing on profits. Again, however, just single figuring like over here, however, using just a single figure, across all the product is not proper, because we have basically the proper product mix rather than only understanding what is the different products profitability. No, no, no. However, in the terms of maximizing profit, it is considered as an absolute measure where we have to consider all the sectors. Then we have contribution per unit. Okay, we have contribution per unit to be returned. So over here, my contribution per unit is an indicator that provides you what? Like, it's the initial part. It means how much was the sales less the variable cost was the amount which I am getting it as a percentage of profit, which says it's a monetary value over here. It's a monetary value. Okay, it's a monetary value. It provides a little information to be provided to the gross profit. It's very less. Okay, the way the company figures are reported, how the way the figures are reported means the GP and the contribution are same thing. Yeah, it's just that we have to be debatable because we have to write every factor which is provided. Okay, last but not the least over here was the return on capital employed. Even that was based on the how much profit you are earning. Yeah, how much profit the company is earning and how much investment they are making and blocking the funds with. Okay, so even that could be a sector which is known as return on capital employed. So over here, return on capital employed indicates how efficient my company is using its capital in order to generate profits. Now, these lines should come in your paper, right? Yeah. Then, as such, the KPIs should also encourage, please increase your profits to the max extent. Although there could be concerns that the ROCE as a profit measure may encourage the short-term behaviors of the expenses as the long-run decisions, because they just want some profits in the short term. But in the long run, there will be certain questions also. However, at the moment, the board still appears willingness to take the decisions on the longer term. So yes, students, this is the second indicator. So means if you read the question, yeah, this is your question. Okay. Okay, this was your question, if you remember. Evaluate the fit between CSS and all. So there were three fits, if you remember, three fits which I copied and pasted it over here. Yeah. First, to improve the productivity. So for productivity, we see how much units they produce, how much was the capacity, and so on. I commented on that. Second, to maintain the profits, to maximize the profits. All kind of ratios I just figured it out. And the last over here is to maintain the satisfaction. How will I understand whether my customer is satisfied or not? Maybe by feedback. For some, there will be a feedback of good. Some for them, there will be no feedback also. So yeah. If you see the question, yeah, average customer score. You thought was it would be 5, but it is 3.5. And for other company, it's not applicable, and I'm not concerned with the other company as of now. Okay. Up next, what do you have to write is, yeah, the answer about the third point, which is known as, yeah, the customer's satisfaction score. So maintaining the customer satisfaction is also very important, because for some people it is very unclear. They don't give the solution properly. So what's customer satisfaction score? The customer satisfaction score obtained through customer surveys by taking their feedbacks. Yeah, it's possible to take the customer surveys, providing a good way of measuring how satisfied my customers are. Again, I have to know, however, in order to judge whether they are satisfied or not, comparative figures are also given. Means in the previous year, how many people were happy? In the current year, how many people are happy? That way. However, it is not exactly clear what the customer have asked. Why? Why, guys? For example, whether it is based on the quality and design, yeah, in itself, or whether the customer's own experiences says, or maybe both. Yeah. So it's not 100% sure that the customer's feedback will be the proper thing to coordinate with. Okay. And last but not the least is quality cost also. If you're incurring a hell lot of quality cost to maintain things, in the long run, it will not be superb. Seriously, literally, it's not good. Because for sure, you have to own something. You have to incur the cost. You have to incur the cost. But it should not be so heavy cost of quality, right? Like more than benefits, you're getting the cost. Even that is not working well. If it's a good quality cost, obviously it's good. But if it's a bad quality cost, it is something like you are making the defective products. Now you have to make them repairs. You have to make it good. So yeah. So quality cost over here says the company appears to be pursuing a differential strategy based on the quality of the products. And the cost of quality is an indicator how much company has spent the money on the quality maintenance. However, in the question it is not clear that what are the costs. If you remember TQM, COQ, cost of quality, which I have taken it in the last class only, we have four types of cost. Yeah. First of all, cost of good conference, bad conference. In good conference, the cost should be incurred prior to actually the things gets corrupted. So that is basically understood as like I can consider it as better way as preventive cost and operational cost. And once your products are damaged or very dirty, and if you have not yet delivered to the customer, it's internal failure. But once you delivered it, it's an external failure also. So we have to consider that. However, it is not clear whether these costs are due to preventive actions, okay, or maybe something like it's a defective situation. I don't know. Moreover, the operating director concerns about the completeness and accuracy of the figures. Okay. In this respect, it could be useful to have an eye to monitor the number of customers complaints received as well as the customer's satisfaction score. So if the company receives a huge complaint, that means the company is not working well. But if the company is receiving a lot of customer satisfaction, means the company's performances are pretty good. Okay, clear? Yes. So yeah, with these we have achieved 13 marks for sure. Yeah. Okay. I hope like everyone is getting it. Yes. Yes, students, let's read the second question that they have asked us. Okay. Up next, what have they asked us? So this is the way, students, we are supposed to write the answer. Okay. Yeah. So the first one for 13 marks we secured. Okay. Second, evaluation of how well the CSFs reflects the competitive pressure. Okay. So can you tell me who is the biggest competitor for my company? Okay. This is what was my answer. Okay. Yeah. This is my second answer. Okay. So what I think, what is my biggest competitor? Who is my biggest competitor? Yeah, so you'll say, ma'am, definitely the new company which is coming up, that Protem. Yeah, the Protem is the new competitor. So how is it the new competitor? Because they are producing something which is lesser. Yeah, so the prices are lesser. Along with that, initially, what was the percentage which was there in the market? Maybe they'll be capturing something like today. In the last time, I was able to have a share of this much percentage, but now, because of new company entering, maybe my products are not so good in the market. So my share of holding will also be reduced. Yeah, that could be a concern. So how will I establish the answer? It's the new entrance thing. That is, the company's performance measure appears to be designed when the market was stable. But we know initially it was only Henderson in the company. However, recently when the new market has came, the following entries of the timber make the things very different. For example, you remember the question? Yeah, if you remember the question, prior to many period, yeah, there was some shares and there was some percentage. So I told it was like nearly 26.3 percentage prior, and now it is falling down. If you remember, yeah, I'll just show you the question. If you remember the first note, I'll just copy this first note. Yeah, I need to copy the first note and I need to understand like whether my situation is same or not. Okay, this is the question, and then I'll delete it by writing the answer. So the total share in the previous year, if you can see, was 18 means the market. Okay, I can write that way. What's the market was how much, guys? The market share and the company's share means my company, CO company, Crown Oak company. Okay, in if you see in 2004, okay, if you see in 2004, let's say, okay, yeah, in 2004, guys, if you see, the company is having a market of 1585 and my company is having a sales of how much revenue of 434. Allegedly it's 434. So can you tell me how much percentage the company has captured in previous year? So yeah, if you see 434 divided by 1585, is it coming nearly to 27 percentage? So yeah, the company has in the previous year covered approximately 27.4 percentage. But in the current year of 2005, I think like now, ma'am, the sales is increased to 1670, and now my company is only able to capture 439, which turns around to be how much percentage? Please do it, guys. Is it coming nearly to 26.3 percentage? So yeah, ma'am, something lesser. Because of what? Because of the changes, yeah. Because of what? Because of the company coming up. That is Protim. So yes, this can also be the situation. So I have tried what? I have tried this way. That is between 20x4 and 5, the company's share has fallen down. Yeah. And if the pro team company is successful again, it will fall down more. If the people like more pro team, they will obviously purchase from pro timber. Yeah. And maybe my company's situation is getting more worse. It can be also possible. Along with that, some we have the brand strength. So yes, that can also be the situation. Means if the company is very good, if any of the company is very good, okay. So that company has what, guys? They have even the brand strength. Means as an established player in the market, my company is an established player, so they don't want to have some marketing and all because my company is very well since a lot of years. So my company should have a proper brand, which should hopefully be very well known. Like the people should know, right? As the new company is coming up, like the Pro Timber. So maybe if they require a huge amount or not of the branding, I don't know, like as an established player in the market, my company brand should hopefully be relatively well known. Agree? Because it's from since long time. However, the company needs to ensure that it uses its brand strength so that whatever potential customers they have needs to be with me only. Means just for some money less, they should not go and jump up with another company again. Yeah. So they need to be loyal with me. Okay. So the reference over here to customer satisfaction in the current CSFs could be relevant here. but over here they need to even improve it. Okay, then what it is? I think like even the technology and innovation can also hit them. How? Other company, that is ProTem company, appears to take the advantage of new production techniques. Yeah, that is pre-assembled one. But my company has just now turned, okay, we will also do this pre-assemble. Do I know it very well? Maybe not. That could be a disadvantage for me. So what they told, the company appears to have responded by going ahead. Moreover, my company appears to have knowledge and technology which was being identified. If it required, can do it by using the leading edge construction. Means in whatever the company was, if it goes ahead in that fashion only, using the old timber and growing ahead, it would have been better. But now the company is trying to switch across. So maybe that could be a problem also. Let's see. Last but not the least is the quality or the cost. So we have to also consider the quality and the cost also. So the company has to figure it out whether whatever prices they are keeping it, is it same with the quality the people want? Okay. Or is it degrading the quality? Means historically, the company's business strategy appears to have been compete on the basis of quality. Because initially, you remember, the timber that they were using was very high quality and that they were not even considering, okay, so what could be the price? What could be the impact of the price? Yeah. However, because of the recent change in the increased rate, there is uncertainty. So now maybe the customer will be more price sensitive. Whosoever gives it a cheaper rate, they will definitely go to them. Yeah. So we might also have seen the signs that there is a product mix where we could make it in the question a lot of bands, BARNS bands that we used to sold, we have just stopped selling it. Yeah. So we might also have a signs of the product to compare to the budget where the number of bands sold is below budget, but the number of relatively cheaper garages and ports are higher because now the cheaper things are getting sold. The cheaper things are getting sold. If you can read this stuff. Yeah, the bands which was very costly over here, I just could make it up. Bands which was costlier is not sold so much, but which is cheaper things, these two cheaper prices, they're getting sold on a good pace. Yeah, that can also be a situation. Yeah, this is just the question. I'll just try to delete the question. Okay. Yeah, cool, 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 cool. Even that can be happening, huh? That can also happen. Last but not the least is any company needs to be sustainable. Okay, they need to be sustainable in the long run. It's not just like short-term profits enough. No, no, no. In the long run, they should be having a position to go ahead. That is any other factor which makes it my company's product with the pro company timber was using the sustainable resources. My company was initially using sustainable resources, but this pro timber was not using those resources. Yes, while the pro timber does not. In respect of this, my company might be able to use the social responsibility in a better way. Yeah, even that could be better position. So all this stuff you're supposed to write it to get very good marks. I hope question number 2 was also pretty easy. Yes. Can we go ahead to the third question? What they have asked us? Yeah. Please give the benefits of TQM. Arey Baba, everybody knows this benefits. So what is total quality management? Yeah. So I have to write the answer as per TQM means. Yeah. TQM means I have to measure it, the total quality, considering the advantages. Means if I'm applying the TQM, what it is, yesterday I told you, it's a type of lean system where you try to minimize the waste by doing what? Maximizing the things which adds value, eliminating the things which are non-value added activities. Non-value added activities eliminated. So maybe the cost of the unit is reduced. Yeah, you can concentrate more on the cost which is relevant, like preventive cost and all the cost, so that your quality is maintained. To achieve what, guys? To achieve the zero defects. And we know zero defect is not something which I can achieve it just in one day, ma'am. No, it's not possible. It is a continuous efforts. It's a continuous efforts. Yeah, one day, today, always we need to improve it and then only we can achieve it. Over here, there have been recent increase in the jobs which they have asked us. If you would have read the question, that about the companies doing the remedial work or not. So yeah, there are certain remedial cost also, but TQM eliminates this initial defects and associated cost because they don't want the unnecessarily cost to be inflated and they don't even want, yeah. So what are the four types of cost which we know? Yeah. In the first cost, which is there in the question, was defect prevention cost. So what is prevention, guys? What's prevention? Before the things appear, I just have to do the cost so that the losses are reduced even before they happen. Okay. So the defect over here, prevention means linked to others. Linked to this, another of the key principle of TPM is instead of relying on the inspection to identify the defect, it's important. Like, see, if I'm doing inspection, I'm getting it, it's okay. We do it. But what if before the thing gets bad, I just want to correct it? That means before inspection only, if I can just go and suppliers review and all I can do, quality circles and all, it's better. It's better. So that your defect should not even happen only. Okay, that way. Yeah, so they told take the appropriate steps to prevent the defect occurring. Yeah, the fact that the above amount of remedial work is increasing may indicate that there are maybe the defects in the company's process. Remedial work means you have to do some repairs and all. If this stuff is increasing, that shows that there is some problems. Identifying the defects expected in the upcoming future. Guys, then we have a failure cost. What's failure cost? It can be, ma'am, both the ways, right? It can be internal failure, it can be external failure, both the ways. What's the meaning of failure, first of all? When I was making anything like my unit, I understand there are certain damaged piece, there are certain damaged costs, there are certain defects. Before I sell it to the customer, it is internal failure. But if I send it to the customer, it's an external failure. So another principle behind TQM is often underestimates the failure cost. That should not eventually happen. We are not supposed to underestimate any cost. It's required, which could include the cost of repair works and solving many problems. So you may wonder where is the, if you remember the cost, what was the price? Yeah, what was the cost which was incurred? Read the question. There's some cost given in the question. Like what is the amount of cost which individual company has? Okay, I'll just try to show you up here. If you can read the question in the appendix, it is written that. Can you see this? I assume my budgeted cost was 195 quality cost, but eventually it increased to 248. Ma'am, a huge amount of cost is what you have made up. Agreed? Yes. So if you can see this, oh my god, a hell lot of answers I have written. So the company's cost of quality are significantly higher as what I made the comparison. But my operating director thinks, okay, no, it's not even perfect. We have to again find it out. Maybe, may not be. Yeah. This reinforces the principle often to underestimate the failure cost and then try to go ahead with the difference. Yes, clear? Then what about the quality cost? So ma'am, quality culture means we have to see. Acha, something which cannot be quantified, okay? Something which cannot be quantified, which is just like getting the feedback, getting about the qualities. Do you really think, is there anything like feedback they got? Yeah, where they were supposed to get a feedback of 4 ratings, it's 3.5. So even that if you know, you are supposed to write the answer here. That is the company over here. The fact of the customer satisfaction is basically below expectations. You thought of it needs to be 4, but if it is 3.5, it's just a small difference. So maybe we can work on that better way. Okay, can also happen. Okay. Then yeah, customer focus and satisfaction is the first and the foremost thing, because without customer being satisfied, without customer getting focused, they will not purchase anything. So yeah, my total quality management is having importance over here of the organization meeting the customer needs and expectations. However, this should again be consistent, okay, so that the customer satisfaction is there for the longer run and not for a shorter period. If the company understands the customer needs, they can work more better. They can work more better to achieve their common goals. I hope it's clear. Yes, pretty easy. Yes. Okay. Now, let's see what is the further question. Yeah, so we just wrote the benefits of TQM also. Okay, right, the benefits of benchmarking. So with whom are we going to do the benchmarking? My performance with Henderson. So maybe we have a, yeah, you're perfect. We have the table, and with the table we can just formulate writing the answer. Yeah, so some benefits are given in the question. So yeah, you just have to interrupt it. So first of all, what is this benchmarking? I told you the benchmarking concepts usually will come to the examination. So benchmarking means we have to compare it, yeah? Compare it between the two companies. Yes. So what type of comparison first of all will be having it ahead? Okay. I'll just book it over here. The comparators benchmarking. So what it is? Who is a competitor of the company? So the competitor benchmarking means by comparing its performances means Oak company is going to perform with Henderson. And if the Henderson's performances are better than Oak, definitely there is some problem. Yeah. So we need to understand them and try to improve them. That's all. Seriously, that's all. So by comparing its performances against Henderson, the company is benchmarking its financial performances against the competitor. As with any benchmarking exercise, the benefit of comparison is also framed, and comparing them and getting an external touch can also be better. Yeah, so that is known as the benchmarking. So if they have asked us about the benchmarking, what are the benefits and what are the limitations and all? So yes, students, it's very simple. We have just write it that way. So limitations of benchmarking means, however, there are certain limitations given in the question between benchmarking of the two companies. So to first of all find out that which company to compare it, it's a big challenge. Yes. Compatibility of the company. That means whatever my company is engaged into, my Coke company over here is looking to the diversity of its product portfolio and has been investing in the new equipment. Yeah, they have told that they have started purchasing the non-current assets. So yes, what type of assets you have purchased, what are the perspective, what are the growth, everything you're supposed to write it. Okay, so my company is looking to the diversify its product portfolio and has been investing in the new equipments and additionally recruiting the staff to help to support its future growth. By contrast over here, my company's strategy is to focus only on its existing market, okay, but to control the cost and operate it efficiently as and when it's possible, easily. As such, this company appears to be very better considering the other. I hope it's clear. Then even choice of competitor. Who is my competitor in the question? Yeah, when it is competition, my competitor is the pro team. So my company is going to compare its financial statements with the pro team company. And the fact that my company is started to build up the pre-assemble that might be useful because I am not so sure about the pre-assemble thing. I am good, I am expertise with the things which I am doing it since long. But if I have entered into a new market, I have to learn it. I think it's easy. We are going it very slow. I'm not at all rushing it. Things are getting it very, very, very easy. Yeah, cool. Okay, now we can go ahead with the last question what they have asked us. Okay, the last question is, yeah, then you can write down which company is better, how can I improve and everything. The benefits of including long term. Yeah, just give me a minute. Yeah, so now there are certain benefits of including the long term performance measures, yeah, in the bonus scheme. So what's bonus scheme? In the question they have provided that in general terms it is argued that we have to make it short term or long term. So for them they have some bonus scheme. So if the percentage of the profit increases in the current year, you get some X amount of bonus. But in the current year, the profits have not increased. So you're not supposed to get the bonuses. Okay, this is what the company has turned around in its general statements. So they have written, in general, it could be argued that the directors of the company have a short-term interest in the company. But now we know that whosoever is the owner of the company is also known as the equity holder and he is the owner of the company. So it's not acceptable if we just have a short term perspective. No, he needs to have a long term perspective and goal. Yes, clear. Okay. Oh, yeah, bonuses are what, guys? It's normal. Yeah, what are bonuses? Let me read it for once. Over here, guys, the bonus is okay. I just don't want any numbers over here. Yeah. So the bonus means the company's bonus scheme currently reinforces the focus on short-term performances. You have to perform on the short term. You have to concentrate more on that. Since the bonus will be only paid if whatever you have made the targets of the profits are achieved. If the targets of profits are not achieved, you will never get it. And in the question in the current year, the targets are not achieved, so definitely they are not entitled to get any bonus. In this respect, the bonus scheme could lead to the decisions making based on the short term and profit and not the long term shareholder value. Because in the current year only they'll be focusing it on and not from the company's longer perspective, not that way. For example, my company might be able to reduce the raw material, okay, by switching the timber. Means in the current year, if I want, I can switch the supplier and cost cut. I can do it for the current year, but in long run, things will not work. If the quality is degraded, how? What next? Up next, what? Isn't it? So yeah, all the stuffs are also to be considered it. Then, if you remember, performances says that what gets measured gets done. The Peter Drucker says. So we have to write that also because we are not just going to write about the bonuses, but even the performances. He says that what gets measured gets done. Okay, and that is what is reality. Oh, yeah, that is what is reality. So we have basically ROCE, return on capital employed. By investing the funds somewhere, yeah, equity or debt, whatever it is, what amount of return you get? If you don't get enough of return, why to block the funds? I hope you're understanding it. Yeah, I'm so sorry because like very much sneezing and all. Yeah. Okay, so I hope it's clear. But what about the ma'am long-term things? So yeah, what was my long-term perspective? So in the question now, it is provided that I'm so sorry. Yeah, the suggestion of introduction to long-term planning appears to be designed to encourage the management to think more about the value creation. Otherwise, what will happen? Otherwise, what will happen? People will think only about the current period and long term they will ignore. Yes. The process of long term incentive is to award and to reward the executive for achieving the company's strategy and maximizing the funds. The need to encourage the management is basically to give more importance to the decisions like should they enter ahead with the wooden thing or should they have to continue with whatever timbers they are using it. So it can helpful in both the ways. So guys, I have to just complete all the stuff and everything is given in the question. I just wrote it. Last, I have to always write like this. I have to always write the conclusion, what happened. So yeah, this is the report that is need, okay, that there is a need to improve the performance management of my company. Currently, the KPIs that I use do not provide the proper strength. So it's important, please, you can change around your KPIs also. It is also very important to reassess whether the current CSFs are going to work well or not, are still appropriate or not. Yeah, that is also important. And finally, in the argument about the quality of the company should also be maintained. So yes, students, this is what is the first answer. And I hope you have understood it very well. So definitely we have secured 50 marks over here. So I don't think there is any difficulty. So yeah, we'll just take a break of 5 minutes and we'll resume back with two more questions. Now, students, we are going to start with section B, okay? And trust me, students, compared to section A, I always tell my students that section B is pretty easier. Why? Because it is not so much of complicated. The things are small, and the things will be covering only some important topics. Okay, so again, before I read the exhibits and everything, let's directly read what is required. So just see how small it is. Like it's just the much. That's all. Okay, so what is my first requirement? Explain the growing emphasis on non-financial performance indicator. This is what we did it in the last class. Okay. So I told you that guys, this is important. Non-financial performance indicators. Second, using only the information provided, please provide a range for non-financial performance indicators, giving this heading, okay, competitiveness, resource utilization, and quality. Okay. Explain the importance of to the GA. GA means my company for each indicator. So basically, these are the three indicators for which I have to explain the importance and also help them to share and assess how the performance of the company is as a result. If you remember, if you remember, is it giving some hint from the performance indicator as a result? Yes. Have you heard these words? If yes, I'll be very happy. In the book building model, yes. Where we have the determinants, yeah. So basically, I'm having over here the dimensions in that. It's basically the determinants, which are of four types, and the results, which was basically financial and competitiveness. So yeah, about the quality, we have to report them, about how the resource utilization, and if you remember more too, it was flexibility also, and it was about getting more knowledge also. Exactly. So yeah, we can understand how good the things are. Okay, let's read it. Let's read it further. In the context of the MD, my managing director, okay, I request you briefly explain him the dimensions. The dimensions. The dimensions of the performances and explain how the dimensions link to the standards. So basically some dimensions they are asking. So definitely we'll give them. Then over here also guys, we are having an appendix which is very big. But to be very frank, it's very pretty easy. Okay. What I can do is I can just because I want to up roll the answers. So yeah, we can keep this much of gaps. Now, before I read to the appendix, let me just read the first question, what it is. So question number 2 says that there is a company, the background of the company is allotted. That is the Glen Associate. It's a security firm. Okay, this is the company. GA is a security firm which provides installation and service contracts for security system. If you remember in the book building model, I have already told you one hint that BBM is mostly applicable for service industry. Means it take care is more service industry. Which is that? Fitzgerald and Moore. Yes. For Fitzgerald and Moore, they will mostly concentrate on the service industry. So what they have asked us. Okay, the company is a security firm which wants to provide some installation and services for the private and business clients. Okay. In last few years, the amount of the business generated has started to slow down and the directors realize that. Means basically they have been in a good service of installation and all since a long year. But now they feel that they are not getting a good pace. So why? What do they think? Okay, they thought that now it is getting slow down. Okay, it's getting slow down. Okay. So in order to maintain the success, the business must grow. Obviously, their business needs to grow. The strategy of the business is to increase the customer base. Yes, they want to increase the customer base. If the customer likes it, definitely they're going to go ahead. Obviously, otherwise, if the customer did not like, the product will be out of the market. The strategy of the business is to increase the customer base. This is particularly important for installations as once a system is installed by my company, the service businesses should follow automatically. Means once I have installed the system in somebody's place or whatever, then it should automatically work. A further strategic concern of the director is that the business will only be retained if the quality of the service is provided is of the highest standards. So what's the most important word, guys? It's the quality. Means they cannot work without sacrificing the if they sacrifice or if they compromise the quality, the things will be out. So quality is the biggest concern. Okay, so they have to maintain the quality for sure. A further aspect of the strategy of the business is that the cost must be controlled. So you cannot keep anything like a cost. Like two things they are going to concentrate more on. First of all, you have to maintain the strategy, you have to maintain the quality. Another one, I think like just to maintain the quality, I increased the cost. No. Maintain the cost, increase the quality, or reduce the cost. Or reduce the cost. And then maintain the quality. So it should be both the ways. Okay. So yeah, they have told. A further aspect of strategy is that the cost must be controlled in order to increase the sales without increasing the price. So yeah, these are the two factors. For that, there are certain performance indicators given in the question. In the past, my managing director of the company has only assessed the performance of the company on the basis of financial performances. So we know only the financial figures are not enough. There is a huge need of non-financial aspects also, which needs to cater the market. However, having recent attended the course, which he subject, he feel that okay, now the non-financial performances are also equally important. So now he is considering whether to incorporate the relevant indicators into the management. Yes, he has to. He has to. If he incorporated, he'll be getting a greater success. That's all. So the managing director, my MD, has provided you with the data for the company's performances in the recent year in the appendix 1. So we'll just check it out. Okay, my company's engineer received a performance related bonus. Means if your performance is good, definitely you get some bonus that way, which is currently based on the company's net profit. Yeah, cool. And my MD says what? The managing director is also considering to include non-financial indicators also in giving the bonuses. Cool. For that, oh my god, thank you for giving me the model. So the told the managing director suggested you use the Phil's Gerard and the Moon's book building model. Array, we just saw the question, we got to know. Cool. Now let's just, I have read the question. Let me first read it about my appendix. For some 20x5 or whatever the year was, yeah, I just have to analyze the things. Okay, I think it's 20x5. Okay, now what they have asked is the first and the foremost thing. Over here, 5, I'll write it. Yeah, revenue is given double 1840. So basically, can I consider it like 1 crore 84 lakhs 40,000? Yeah, whatever you guys are more comfortable with. Okay. So my net profit is given, my revenue is given. Okay. Now just try to understand total clients inquiry. Okay. If I'm setting up a business, if I'm setting up a office where I'm giving a lot of services, do you think whosoever comes and inquire me is going to take up the services? Ma'am, it's not like that. They will come, they will check. Maybe if they are satisfied, only then that inquiry becomes a contract and maybe later. So what happened? The total client inquiries the company had for new business was 4230. Okay. So this many new people came and this many are my repeat businesses. Only the inquiry came. Means people came to my office, just they asked, they had a word with me, and later on they said, okay, Baba, we'll give you a reply within a day or two. So yeah, that could be my inquiries. And that inquiries, after these inquiries, which turned to be contract are 3005. That means the people who are going to do the new businesses, 4230 people came, 4230 people came. They asked me, and out of that, 3005 people have accepted it. So what do you think? How much percentage people have accepted it? What do you think? Yes, over here we need to understand like how much people are liking it. Okay, so this is what they feel like. Yeah, it's good for the company as a whole. Okay, so maybe I can just have a division. Yeah, and we can get the quality. Okay, cool. Up next, what they have given us in the question, if you read it, number of service calls out are 14,320. So maybe this many calls out we have to do it, like this many times we have to process it. Number of engineer employed. Okay. So for so many times, like for installation, yeah, I'm giving a call. Okay, Baba, come for installation. How many installations, how many employees are there? See, if there are huge number of installations, as I told you in AC, I was not happy because my AC person who is to repair, he is to install, he came like after 1 week. I was not happy at all. So yeah, what happened over here in the question? For installation, number of employees were how much, guys? It was 34 employees for installation, and for services, there are 95 employees. Okay. What is the total number of engineering hours they are going to work it? For installation, they require 68,300 hours, and for services, they require two like 13. Oh, 213,750. So many hours they require for services and not so much for installation. Okay. Now this is important. Numbers of complaints. Okay. Who have taken the services if they didn't like it? So many complaints are there. Okay. For installation, there is 934 complaints. Just try to understand. First of all, tell me how many people took that services. So you will think like, ma'am, there are certain people who have taken up and out of them they have made a complaint. So we need to figure out like how many people have taken up the services for first. Then if I'm getting a call, okay, Baba, come and do the installation. Traveling time only how much I take. The time to reach the client's base are 3.2 hours on an average. Okay, maybe it's more. Let's see. Now chargeable time of engineering. What is the amount that I'm getting it for hours? So chargeable time I'm getting it for 6 to 30 hours for installation and 166,790 for my, yeah, if you can see, you were totally requiring this many hours and this much hours are allotted to you. Beyond that, the time between the initial inquiry and the installation are this. If somebody initially came to my place and they give me the final order, so it, no, like, if I got the order, okay, Baba, you have to install it. Like the initial inquiry they came, until the date I finally set the orders there, it normally takes 5 days. It normally goes around a working cycle of 5 days. Okay. How many service contracts are there in the current year? How many installation number? Now, if you see in the current year, if I'm having so much of services, okay, current year is let's say blue, yeah, like the service cost are blue, and let's say the installation cost, I'll make it green. Okay, cool. Just try to understand how many service contracts are there in the current year 20x5, 18,890 services I am having, like the numbers of contracts I'm having. Out of which, how many people didn't like it? Oh my god, number of complaints were 1250. I have to figure out what's the percentage. How many people didn't like it? Same goes with installation stuff also, which is 934 out of 9635. Okay, clear? So this is what I can utilize it and formulate the answer. Let's read the first question. Explain the emphasis on the non-financial performance indicators for the business. Okay, so now it's purely a theory question. Yeah, so I have to just formulate the solution, how I'm going to write it. So yeah, students, do you think legitimately like the non-financial indicators are so important? So yeah, we know, ma'am. Today, if it's only the financial thing, it is not going to work well in the long term. Some financial statements show so much of profit, but just on the namesake of cutting a cost so badly that the quality is deteriorated. So definitely in the long run, they'll be out of the market for sure. So even that is not required. So that is also not acceptable. So how will I formulate the answer? So I have to just write it over here. It is, if you can read it, yeah, yeah. It is now fairly widely recognized over here that concentration only on the financial performance is too narrow and that can impact it because I'm ignoring some other factors which is not allowed. Okay, so financial performance measures the historical figures. In the short run it's fine, but today if I want to go ahead, I have to have what over here for the managers. Okay, I have to have a great overview. Okay, so if I'm just cutting it, I don't want any uh ABCD. Yeah, I don't want any ABCD. Colloquially, otherwise we'll write it. For the managers are now likely to, okay, are more likely to narrow their thinking if only financial performance indicators are considered. But today we know because of the huge changes in the market every now and then, because of the external factors changing a lot, if I am ignoring the non-financial factors, so it's not good. So over here, this line is very important. The non-financial performance indicators will tend to make the managers consider the external factors like competition and customers. This will obviously help the managers thinking from that strategic perspective too, to earn the profits. In the current business today, factors such as, yeah, you remember the question, what are the things which I cannot quantify? Ma'am, the delivery. Yeah. After sales services, ma'am. The quality. I have written the 5 things. Yeah. After sales services. Customer satisfaction. Employee satisfaction. Yes. So, in the current business, these factors are the vital role. If you remember, students, I have explained you quality, delivery, reliability, after sales service, and customer satisfaction are very important. And such elements cannot be quantified. So in numbers, I cannot quantify, cannot be quantified. Okay, it's okay, but still I have to understand it because it is important. because it is important. Okay. So basically, if you see the question, yeah, what is about the GA? What is about my question about my company? The GA, okay, yeah, this is particularly true, yeah, of the service industry such as my company, where the quality and flexibility is very important as it plays an important role in the competitive market. Company's reputation relies upon not only the reliability but also that I am providing what the speedy and better services to them. Okay. So this is what just I have written it. Get a why is it important and why not. So students, this is not some like if it's APM now, it's not like it's only one answer. But I told you, words, whatever points are written, we have to write it accordingly. Okay, we have to write it accordingly. Now, second, if you read the question, how beautiful the question is made. Using the information provided, please provide a wide range of the non-financial performance indicator. And the first point is competitiveness. So if I want to know about the competition, how will I answer it? Yeah. Okay. How will I answer it? Here, the first about the competitiveness. If I'm figuring it out, the competitiveness, what is my competition? How many new businesses have came? How many repeat businesses are there? Okay. First of all, how many inquiries have came up? Okay. Just see the question. Just formulate it. Okay. Just formulate it. Yeah. If you see this, if you just to see this competition total, see if I'm telling you 100 customer comes to my company but only 10 repeats because other competitors maybe are quoting a less price, maybe good quality, and etc etc. So you have to think, acha, how many new business came? So I'll say, okay ma'am, 4230 new business came for sure. Okay, but they just inquired me, but out of them 3005 business are confirmed. That is good, isn't it? So yeah, if they're confirmed, what do you percentage? So maybe can I do like that? Yeah, can I do like that? Please, please, please tell me. Can I say like 3005 divide by, okay. Yeah, just give me a minute. Yeah, 3005 divide by 4230. Do you think like around 71 percentage of the inquiries turned into contract? It's a good thing. Not so bad, no? Like people coming up in 71 percentage, people gives you contract. It's not a bad thing. And these are my repeat customers. Same. Repeat business. 1840 inquiry came and 1510 confirmed. So again, if you check the percentage, 1510 divided it by 1840 gives me a percentage of 82. So it's way better. Isn't it? It's way better. That's good, isn't it? Yeah. So just copy it and try to like formulate an answer for competitiveness. Okay. So this is how we write it for competitiveness. Okay, this is the question which they have given. So considering this, I'll just try to write the answer. So competitiveness, so percentage of inquiries which turned into contract are this much. There is for new business, 3055 are confirmed out of 4230. So obviously 71 percentage got confirmed. For repeat business, it's 1510 out of which like 1840, 1510 confirmed. So it's good, na? So this indicates that the company is winning up the good customer base also. Even that is a good strategy. Agree? Yeah. So this indicates that how competitive my company is in winning the new contracts, getting the new contracts. Even that, it's important to understand like how many are like the people who want to stay in my company. Yeah, how many people do like it? Yes. Now, are there any increase? How competition? If I'm talking about competition, in the previous year, how many contracts I was getting it, and how is it something like in the current year I'm getting more contracts? So let's see that. Oh, if I just copy it and paste it over here, do you think, is there any competition which has increased? Yeah, it has obviously increased if you can see the figures. In the previous year, I was having only 15,890 contracts. Now it's increased to 18,890. So please get the percentage of increase. So what we'll do, 18,890 minus 158 90 divided by the original 15890. So am I getting not an 18.9 percentage increase? Yes. Similarly, for installation also, if you see, it's nearly 9635 new contracts. These are the old contracts of 8120. So I get the difference divided by original. Am I getting 18.7 percentage the increase? Yes, guys. This shows me, okay, oh yeah, there is an increase. But I think like in services, I feel there is more increase compared to installation. So yeah, I'm supposed to just formulate the answer. So yeah, this is what I'll write it. 18,890 minus 15,8. So I get some percentage. So this shows what? This gives an indication of the growth in the business rather than just simply telling, okay, the turnover is increased. No, there is a growth. There is a growth. So the breakdown between the services, if you see between the difference between services and installation, if you break down the contract, you will get to know, yeah, these are the most competitive. It is surprisingly that the service industry is getting more. Yeah, it's surprisingly that the service business has increased at a greater rate than compared to installation. As it is expected that maybe it can have a good future. Easy, students, easy. Yeah, this is what is all about the competition. Yeah. Is there anything further they have provided in the question? Yeah, ma'am. You have to use it resource utilization. So if you remember, I have yesterday explained you with the school concept, yeah? So like there are let's say 100 students. And if only there is one tutor teaching them, it's not utilizing it the full efficiency. Means for example, if the efficiency of a tutor is to teach 50 students, definitely in my company there should be two tutors. Similarly, if it's a CFO, where you have to do the audit reports, one article can do 10 only. If you are allotting him 100, or if you're just giving them two, it's ideal waste of time or maybe over efficiency. So yeah, which is again not good. See about the resource utilization, what are we going to go ahead with? So I need to know how many orders I'm getting it and how again I'm going it. Okay, so all these stuffs are done. Okay, all this stuff is done. Now if you read it, what is the number of calls which I'm getting it? So I am getting it, let's say this much calls. Okay, but what do you think? These are the calls for service. Okay, so these many service calls out are there. And for service calls out, guys, for service calls out, how many people are there? Oh. So to do 14,320 times service, only there are 95 employees. Oh shit, seriously, so less? Yeah. So what do you think? What is the per situation? So if you just divide it for 14320 divided it by 95. So it's like 150.7 per engineering they have to do the service cost. Oh my god, that's huge. That's huge. Either it was better that they install some more people or they employ some more people so that can help them. Okay, what's next? If you can read the further question. Yeah, I told you. Total engineering hours required is this. Yeah, I'll change it the color. Total engineering hours are this. And guys, this is the chargeable time for the engineers. Yeah. So what I can do is over here, first of all, now this much we'll write it about the service calls out. Okay. We'll just formulate the answer. I hope it's easy. It's easy for resource utilization. If you see for the number of services calls out, it's basically this. There is number of services calls out. Yeah. That is 14,320 and there are 95 employees for that. So per engineer, it's 150.7 per engineer. This indicates that the productivity of the services of the engineer. The productivity is important as the aspect of cost control because, for example, if normal efficiency needs to be 100, then it's important that you have to employ more employees. But what if unnecessary you are keeping employees? You are increasing the salary. So the salaries are also fixed. So more the service calls out made by employee will reduce the service cost per and increase the profit. Yes. And we have one more thing, which I just mentioned it over here. Percentage of chargeable hours. How much hours I was having and how much hours are chargeable. So yeah, this was the stuff. 16 to 30 and this service. How much are my chargeable hours? So yeah, I hope even this is clear. Yeah, cool. So I hope we are good with it. So yeah, it's good. Now, what have they asked us in the third point? If you could read it. After doing resource utilization, they have given up a quality. Yeah. So the last question over here was to give the importance of quality as a performances. So which quality means how much defect-free things you're making it, how well it is, and everything like that way. So what's quality? If you see the above question, yeah, if you see the above question, they have written how many complaints are there. If the complaints are not so much, that means the quality is better. If the complaints are too much, the quality is not so good, right? Yeah. So what have they given us in the question is over here. About the quality, if you just see, okay, all the stuff is already done. Okay, number of complaints. These many complaints are there. Oh my God, these many complaints are there. For installation, it's 934 complaints, and services, it's 1250. And how much contracts I was having? Ouch, this much contracts. Out of so much contracts, we have so much of, let's say, the complaints. I'll just copy it. Okay, I'll just paste it over here so that I can copy it later. Okay, just try to understand. Okay, these are my service things. For the current year only, I have to take it. Okay, maybe what if I copy it and just paste it down and I'll delete it. Okay, so that we don't know, we don't need to go on and on. So this is how I do it. I know, if possible, if you have the possibility to copy it, please do the same, because it is any which way is going to help you so that you don't have to go on and on and on with the other pages. So I'll just go down and write about the quality. For the quality, guys, if you just read it for the quality. So how many complaints I'm having, guys? Out of the service, first tell service. So for you, current year is important, the previous year is least important. So I'll delete it for sure. Same year, over here it's for 2004. I'll just write it for 2005. So I was having something around which is not there in the question, but it is like a 9635 if you can check it. Yeah. So if you do about the complaints, installation complaints are 934 out of 9635. Divide it, you get it. 934 divided by 9635. Okay, so do you think my quality complaints are like 9.7 percentage? And what about the service? What about the service? It's like 1250 divided by 18890. Do you get something around 6.6? Yes. So these are my complaints. So this shows the level of customer satisfaction for the work carried out. Yeah, this indicates how better the quality is about the company. And so students, all the stuff are highly required to be presented in your answer, so as to attract your customer, so as to retain your customer, to make your customers feel more happy. Yes, students, this is what we have to make it. And I hope you guys understood it very well. Yeah. Now, is there anything else left with the question? Yeah, ma'am, we have the question number third part also. So what was that, guys? In the contents of the managing director, please briefly explain the dimensions. Oh, it's dimension means, you remember. The four parts, BBM, book building model. Who was the person? Fitzgerald and Moon. Yeah, so we have to write his name also. Huh? He is like the good person. Yeah. So basically, when I'm talking to you about that, about the determinants, we know what are the factors which hits the determinants. Yeah, quality, obviously, flexibility, obviously, resource utilization and innovation. Yes, students, we need to have this stuff in our mind. So yeah, this is how I need to write. So over here, if you remember, I told you it's basically two parts. Results, yeah, results and determinants. So if it's results, two parts, financial and what? Financial and competitiveness. If it's determinants, it's four parts. So determinant is the factor that influences the company's results. Yes. So over here, the quality over here about the question they have written. How will I get it? So first of all, the quality of the engineer, how efficient they are to use. First of all, the quality. I have to write about the quality. So the names I have to write it. That's all. Okay. Next, I'll write it over here. The quality of the engineering. Then how efficiently they are utilizing means what, guys? Yes, that is the resource utilization. Also, you have to write it. So I have to write the resource utilization. Then I have to write about the speed. The speed means the flexibility. The flexibility. Yes, about the flexibility. And right over here, I have to write about the and innovation also. And innovation. Are they coping up with the situation in the market? If yes, then it's cool. Then it's cool. So I have to write it all those factors. Yeah, guys, please learn it. Please learn it. I told you it was the most important topic. Yeah. So however, if you can see this, in the question they have written that it is all dependent upon the profits. So however, the BPM model highlights that the standard and the targets against which the performance is measured is important. It's important. The standards are the target level of the measures with which the dimensions can be measured. So employees must have to take the ownership of the targets to get motivated. A key question for the managing director was how to persuade the engineer to get the targets, because my profits are linked with the targets too. Yes. So finally, over here, the targets can be achievable. How it should be targets on the day one. You remember what I was doing it on the day one? Guys, you should remember the topics. On day one, what are you going to do? Ma'am, we are going to set the standards. Yeah, on day one. If I'm setting the standards, it should be, ma'am, it should be equity, it should be equally challenging to everyone, it should be achievable, it should be something which is possible, means it should be ownership. Yes. So it must be achievable, challenging to everyone, and it needs to be achievable. So it does not have to demotivate. Yes. It should be realistic, not something which is that way only. Okay, so we have to write that too. Over here, if I'm talking to you about my Fitzgerald, what is going to do? Yeah. So my Fitzgerald and Moon also highlights the achievement of the standards, such as by what the guys are going to get rewards. For example, the engineers may not be able to control the time taken to reach the client, which was 3.2 hours. What the hell they can do if it actually takes so much of time? So it's okay. It's okay. Finally, the targets, whatever they have returned it, yeah, should be fair enough. So while the targets should be challenging also, but it should not be so much of challenging, yeah, that it is unachievable. If it is unachievable, people will be demotivated and they'll not work to their full efficiency. They'll feel like, I know it is mostly made in such a fashion that I should not achieve it. No, it's not that way. Okay. So yeah, this becomes the important points. And students, if you could manage, if you could analyze it, I told you, like, I don't know how many times, but yeah, benchmarking and BBM are important. And you could just clearly see both the concepts have touched it over here. My CSF, my KPIs, whatever topics I'm telling you, it's important. It is important. Okay. So please, please, please have an eye on these important topics also. So yeah, without any further delay, we are going to start with the last question. And yeah, with these, we are going to complete the paper for sure. Okay. Some companies' background is given. Okay. And yeah, people know one more chapter is very important. Yeah, which we did in the revision series. Shh, what's that? What's that? Divisional transfer pricing, ma'am. Yes, yes, yes. Obviously. So are we at that point? Yeah, we are at that point. So yeah, without any further delay, we'll be just reading it and yeah, going ahead with the concepts. So yeah, we know we never read the questions. And yeah, this stuff will be given in your paper. So present value table, which is obviously going to help you in anyhow. But in the question, if it is required, I'll make the use of it. Otherwise, we'll just start writing the solution. Okay, so before reading the question, before reading the statement, before reading the topics, we need to know the divisional transfer pricing, the divisional performances and transfer pricing is the most important topic and the very favorite topic of your examiner too. So again, that can never be ignored. So yeah, in the first question, they have written calculate the both return on investments. So ROI is to be found out and RI is to be calculated for the first year of investments. Cool. Explain whether the manager of the company, the TT company, wants to invest in the project. Should he do or should he not? Okay. So maybe some question is there for RI, ROI and RI. Okay, we'll calculate it for sure. And they have asked something about the manager. They have to consider it and will also help him out. Okay, no worries. Second, they have asked us, please calculate the EVATM, okay, economic value added thing, for the investments in the first year, which gives them the opportunity to go ahead. Okay, we'll assume that also. Assume that the economic depreciation is same as the accounting depreciation. My students knows this. Yes, your economic and your accounting. So economic depreciation, we reduce it, and accounting depreciation, we add it back. Yeah, so both are same. So there is no more effect. It's going to get same. Okay. Then the third question was discuss the view of the divisional measure for such residual income and economic value at a time fails, for example, to take into account the liquidity and gearing case. Okay. And suggest how the liquidity and gearing could be monitored at the divisional level. So maybe that can also be useful. Let's see. Last, the 5S model, which is the most important. Yeah, I told you something to maintain in the workplace. So what they have told, with the reference to 5S of the lean system, evaluate to the extent how the new warehouse should be kept. Okay, we know how should the warehouse be. It needs to be sorted, it needs to be shining, it needs to be set in order, standardized, and last, it needs to be sustained. Yes, students. So over here, this is what the background of the questions are. So, okay, we are at a position that we can read the question. Yeah. Okay. We'll take time. We'll easily learn about it. So, what's my company's background, first of all? My company's background over here is the Edwards Incorporated, that is EI, is a multinational diversified business which operates on a divisional basis. Okay, so basically there is some divisional basis. The manager of each division is responsible for capital investment choices. So the managers are having the responsibility of having the choices, so whether they want to invest it or not. So we know in ROI and RI, yeah, ROI and RI, if the manager wants to go ahead in the ROI, they have to see it's not just the R division is getting profits. No, they have to get minimum what the company's cost of capital is. So that much only they wanted, right? Okay, I know. We know a lot of concepts. If not, I'm not going into so much of details. But guys, please check it out the video. It is superb and superbly important. Yeah. Yes. With the capital budget set by the board of EI and is paid on an annual bonus related to the average of ROCE. Okay, so ROCE also have asked. Cool. The EI, the company has a weighted average cost of capital of 10%, means the company's cost of capital is 10%. So whatever decisions they take it now, Baba, they have to think from the company's perspective also, not just from the individual choices. For example, if my company division is getting an ROI of let's say 15% in my normal thing, if I get a new investment opportunity, if I get the return of let's say 12%, I will not go ahead. I will say, no, my normal profits are 15%. Why to go ahead with 12%? I don't want to. But what if I say you the company wants minimum 10? So the division has to go ahead with something more than 10%. So that's all. Yeah, I will read it. My division. The TT division is a division of EI which provides equipments to the building trade. Okay. The manager of TT is currently assessing a project to open a new superstore to sell the equipments. Okay, they want to set up a new superstore. Maybe that could also have a cost. The project has an initial cost of how much? Okay, so day one your cost is $1 million. Okay, $1 million with which will last for 4 years. Okay, if I'm just figuring it out, is there something like deferred expenditure? Maybe, I don't know. Like it's just a capital expenditure, which we need to go ahead with. Okay. And the company has no residual value and has a positive present net value of point. It's good now. They have not given any residual value, but they have given the present value. Super. Present value of investment is 0.35 millions. So what I can do is I can just analyze it. Means something like to go ahead. This is my outflow today. So if I'm getting better inflows, yeah, then I can go ahead with the project. Otherwise, it's more beneficial to cancel the project. So some amount of the first year statements are given. If I can just read it out loud, the profitability of the project in the first year is this. My revenues are 800. I'm not reading the 3 zeros in dollars, so it's 800. My cost of goods sold is 380. So if I just reduce it, I get a GP ratio of 420. My gross profit is 420. Okay. I have certain expenses of wages, cool, advertisement cost. Why I spoke it like that way? Blue color, maybe green color, I'll figure it out. No, green color is not something which is visible, right? Yeah, I can make it this color. So why it is spoke different way? Maybe you can have a hint for the concept of EVM. Okay. Now what about depreciation? Maybe something. Profit before taxes and net profits are given. Okay. What they have written in the question. The TTs currently has a return of investment of 15.8%. Means the company is having an ROI, and we know sorry, it's basically whose ROI? The division. So if any company wants to enter into, the division wants to enter into a new investments. So if the division is going to get anything beyond 15.8, he'll be happy to accept it. But if you remember in the question, the company's return on investments was 10%. But as per the company's perspective, if any division gets more than 10%, they should accept the project. So let's see. Based on the average investments, it is estimated that at the end of the first year of trading, the replacement cost of net assets is 1 million. Okay, replacement cost. Okay, the managers of my division is looking for the investments to stabilize Okay. Which has been variable in recent year. Cool. I'm not reading this concept of warehousing. Yeah, warehousing answer is in the last. So I'm not reading it ahead. I'm just reading it and going ahead with the question. Why? Because I don't want to mix up. Yeah, the first question. Calculate both ROI. So first we are going to calculate the return on investments. Okay. And then the residual income, and I'll explain them. Okay. What is the meaning of return on income? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Acha. Okay. Yeah, I got to know because I was making it ahead now. What I can do is I can just delete the PV table if required, the present value. Yeah, because it is coming from the left hand side now. If you require, you can just see the discounting factor which is there in the question. Yeah, which is not so important. Yeah, cool. I'll just delete it. Okay. Yeah, come ahead. Still, it is going on the left hand side. No worries. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm just deleting it off for sure. Still, it's coming the left hand. I don't know why, but just give me a minute more. Okay, lean over here, 8 marks. Okay, yeah. Yeah, maybe now I can get it. No, Baba, it's coming in the left hand side only. Okay, let's see what they have asked us about return on investments. My suggested answer says me about return on investments. Okay, yeah. So it eventually came, but it's coming that way only. So no worries. Okay, so guys, what is the meaning of return on investments? Yeah, I have to consider it's going that way. And I'm getting very much of okay. If the company wants return on investments, the formula over here, the profits before interest and tax or whatever the taxes are, sorry, profit after taxes divided by what are the capital. What's the capital, right? So the profits, what have they given? Is there any opening capital? Yeah, ma'am. The opening investment is 10 lakhs. But it was like 1 million, yeah, opening capital. Yeah, I'll just book it out over here. My opening capital, my opening capital is this much. Yeah, so my opening capital is 10 lakhs. Okay. What is my closing capital? So they have told that 3/4 of the situation is to be analyzed. Yes. It's not the complete, it's 3/4. Yeah, if you remember. Why? What is the date? Can you just check it? Is there anything given? How much percentage it is? Yeah, so basically it's 4 years, and now you are at the situation to do it for 1 year. So yeah, the life is for 4 years. Cool. Okay. So basically your closing capital is, let's say, 7 lakhs 50. So what can be your average capital? Okay, so maybe my average capital turns around to be 875 because we have to take up the average. Please do it. Do you get this? 1 lakh plus 750 divided by 2, it's 875. Yeah. So what's my return? Have they given anything as a profit in the question? Yeah, if you can read it, profit after taxes. They have given like profit before taxes, sorry, PAT, profit before taxes is 120. Yeah, so I have to take that 120 and go ahead. Yeah. So basically, if you can see the return on investments, yeah, the return on investments, okay, the return on investments turned around to be 120, and that is 875 divided by the total number of average capital. That is my ROI. That is 13.7 percentage. So I'm so sorry. So normally the company is having 15.8 percentage, so they will not be interested. But as a company, ma'am, they have 10 percentage. So as a cost of capital, they have to go ahead. They don't have other choices. Yeah. Now, what about the residual income? Yeah, that is profit before taxes. They have to consider. Okay. Then, if I'm talking to you about the residual income, just give me a minute. Yeah. For residual income, students, I have to see what is the profit before taxes, what is the company's cost of capital, how much investments to make, and if there is any positive and negative sign, we can go ahead. Yes. Okay. What's the investments? Ma'am, my investment was 875 and the company wanted minimum of 10% profits. Yeah. So they wanted 875 and am I giving them? Yeah. We are giving them. So that's the difference is nothing other than the residual value. Students, you have learned it. Yeah, you have learned it. So the return over here in the question was 13.7% is my ROI. And already they are having 15.8%. The division is having 15.8%. But the cost of the company is 10%. So I have to write that. The return on the investments of the project was 13.7%, which is lesser than their own investments. Therefore, the manager will be unlikely to invest. But the company's profits are more, right? So they have to. They don't have other option. Yeah. So yeah, the company is also having the positive situation. So the NPV is there. So yeah, they have to go ahead. Okay. Now the last concept comes here is EVA. In the question, EVA, economic value added. So what's EVA, guys? It's basically the NOPAT minus WACC. Yeah, the formula is NOPAT minus WACC. Net operating profit after tax minus WACC. K, C, yeah, everything. I have explained you. Please check the video. Please check the video. So I'm not going into the details of the formula. So what's WACC? Or I can say capital charge for them. WACC into cost of capital. What's WACC? Yeah, if you remember. KD, yeah, into WD, yeah, plus K into WD, yeah. Learn, students. Okay. Up next in the question they have given us, if you can read it, yeah, just give me a minute. Yeah, profit is given, if you can read it, after tax or profit before tax. If you see, profit as per the question is given 90, is it there? Yeah, like profit is given in the question, is it 90? What if I just copy this stuff? Yeah, no, my profit is 90. Do you think that the depreciation should be added or deducted? Ma'am, please add depreciation. Yeah, we have to add back depreciation. So please add depreciation back. But what if I say you, ma'am, adding the depreciation and deleting the depreciation is same because it's economic value added activities, economic depreciation and commercial depreciation both are same book also. So it's hell, no use. But this advertisement cost, ma'am, we have to add it back. Why? Because as per the EVA, it is a type of investments. So it's not a cost that you get it in 1 year. So it's something like a deferred cost. So please add it back. So what I can do it, I can just add it back. So I can do what, guys? I can just add back my advertisement cost for sure. Okay, clear. I can add back my advertisement cost also, profit after tax and advertisement cost added. So what is my total NOPAT? What's my total NOPAT? Yeah. Okay, I get my NOPAT, net operating profit after taxes are around 130 if I take up the total. Yeah, cool. My NOPAT is 130. So yeah, my NOPAT turns around to be 130. Clear? Yeah. So this is something which I'm getting it clear. Yeah. Now, what about the capitals? What about the capitals? So what is the day one investments if you get it? Ma'am, it was 1 million, right? And if you remember, there was certain charge also. There was certain charge also, 10%. So NOPAT minus WACC. Go ahead with WACC. Value of the asset is this and percentage is 10. So it's giving me up a total of 900. Okay, yes. So is it positive or negative? So if you just check it, 130 minus this charge, am I getting a positive of 30? Yes, so my EVM is 30. My EVM is 30. So my EVM is 30. I hope you guys are getting it clear. Yes. Yeah, so 130 minus 100. I get 30. So yes, this is what my EVA is to be calculated with. I hope it's clear. Yeah. Students, if you have any doubts in the class, I have explained you superbly. In the YouTube also, we have a session. Please check on. I am like telling you, like, I don't know how many times, but it is useful for you guys. So please have a word on that. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Up next, as a EVA, yeah, of the investments is positive. Yeah, it's positive. So the TT can go ahead and accept the project. Okay, accept the project. Okay, now they have asked us something about liquidity and stuff. So what is that liquidity and stuff? So liquidity and the gearing ratios are the financial conditions of the company. Means how much sufficient liquid cash assets and all they are there with the company, so that the company will have the financial stability. So liquidity and gearing are the measures of financial condition the company have. Sufficient liquidity is good because it is helping us in the financial security and survival for sure. But if I'm having so much of liquid asset, even that is also not so good. Yeah. Otherwise, you will feel, okay, ma'am, they don't have money only, like so much of money, but well, like what will they do of having so much of liquidity? So we have a lot of ratios with us, if you remember, guys. Yeah. So although liquidity and gearing can be measured retrospectively, they are more useful for forward-looking approach. For example, there are several ways of finding the liquidity. We have how much ratios? Quick ratios, current ratios, and cash cycles. Yeah. That can help in understanding how much liquid the cash flows you guys have to settle your current liabilities, how much current assets the company is having. To settle all those stuff, we have these concepts. Okay, yeah, up next. What's the meaning of operating gearing? Gearing on the normal basis. That is basically operating gearing can be measured by understanding how much sales you are doing and how much you're getting it in front of that. That is contribution upon sales ratio. Can be working well here. So please students, if you don't know, just check on my videos I'm telling you, which indicates the rates of changes in the GP margin, so it becomes volatile. I hope it's clear. Yeah, superb. Okay. Now if you remember, we have just one single concept left over with us. Is basically the question which says about the 5S, about some warehouse. So yeah, we'll not waste more time. We'll just read the concept and we'll wind up the first mock paper. Yeah, warehouse. So TT has 3 warehouses in the country in which it is based. Okay. So the company is having 3 warehouses and which stores all the equipments and products. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Some are sold through third-party superstores, but the TT also supplies to large customers directly. So, like in my warehouse, there will be some other stores or like some other super like the things or the equipments which some other party also sells, and I also sell. Okay, so there is some warehouse. Over here, the performance of one warehouse has deteriorated recently. Why? And the number of deliveries to the customer has also been missing. Oh my God. So they are not sending the deliveries on time. Yeah, maybe the things are also getting missed and things are getting missing. So it's not good enough. Or have included incorrect items as the staff had problems of locating the correct items. Okay, so it's not good. One of the TT's largest customer has threatened to cancel its contract if they don't improve the performances. Obviously, if you don't store it properly, if you give the mismanipulated things, people will obviously love to cancel the contract instead of extending it, right? Yeah, obviously. So now what happened? Now they told, okay, please maintain it properly. So they thought, okay, chalo baba, we'll start with a new warehouse. So what happened? Not new warehouse. A new warehouse manager has been appointed who needs to manage it properly. Okay. And he believes that the process of storing goods in the warehouse had been responsible for many problems. Because maybe they are not storing it properly, they are just haphazard doing things. So even that should not be done. When in inbound deliveries from TT suppliers were received, see, what they thought, when I'm receiving something from supplier for this for storing it in the warehouse, I require to receive something. So what he thought, when the inbound receivings from the supplier, the products are stored in the nearest available space, which could be on the warehouse floor if there is no place in the shelf. Are they mad? So what are they doing? Whenever they are receiving the raw materials or whatever stuff they have, they don't have shelf space, so they'll just put it on the floor. Are Baba, is it not fine? Ma'am, this way the things should not be there. If there is no space, they'll put it on the shelf. Worst thing they are doing. Worst thing. Very bad. The warehouse manager has now instructed the staff that all the products coming into the warehouse must be stored in the appropriate places on the shelves within 2 hours of the delivery being recorded so that nothing is missed out, right? So you just cannot take like 5 hours and do it, maybe 2 days to do it. No, I don't want anything. None of them should be stored in floor. Good now. The work he is doing is good. Then what happened? He also told the manager, okay, please introduce a policy in which all the products should be stored with the name chronological order. A, the nearest shelf, and Z, the farthest one. Means A to Z with the name. It's good. It's short. Shitosuke, yeah, everything. Yes, the Japanese words. Yeah. Then what happened? The manager has also implemented the policy of RFID tags. The radio frequency in which I can like analyze where my products are. It's something like tracker. Okay. So to receive and apply to all the products as they are received into warehouse. The information from this tags automatically updates how much inventories there are. Okay, it's good now. So how better the technology they have used it, yeah. So that if there is any shortage of the technology, it will hint and that will already be ordered from the supplier again that way. Along this, the warehouse manager has begun to carrying out the spot checks. So he'll check the inventory count very soon. Like he'll not keep like for delaying things. So as to check the volumes of the product and get the shelf cleared very well. So beautifully the manager is planning to do. So what they have asked is, with the reference to 5S, please explain us with the new manager's process. It's not the new warehouse, guys. It's the process, how they're going to formulate it. So yeah, without any further delay, let's just start it. And we know it's a cash marks, guys. It's a cash marks because it's more simple than anything else. So first we have to stimulate it. We have to simplify it. So basically there are 5S. Yeah. So if you know the concepts, the 5S over here are, first of all, to scrutinize it, simplify, sanitize, standardize, and sustain. Yes. To scrutinize it, to find out the things. I told you, my office, if everything is kept like this only, the funds, the files, the wrappers, everything, I'll not feel it very good. So unnecessary things, please remove it. Then try to keep it like A, file B, file C, etc. Then try to clean it, make the workplace look beautiful so that it needs to be hygienic. Then to keep the files in order, for example, green color file, I have explained you, green color file, red color file, everything. For income tax, for GST, I have explained you. And last, to keep it for a longer run. It's not for just 1 or 2 days. Have to continuously keep them. And we can apply this to the warehouse recognition, and that could avoid making a lot of difficulties. So the first is to simplify this. So how will the customer, how will the manager simplify the performances? The principle over here involves organizing the items so that it is easily found out. Okay. Now, if I'm implementing the new RFID system, it is good because it is going to help me out to quickly and easily find out whatever stuff I want to find out without any further delays, right? Yes. So this process is going to be helpful. Second is to sort in order. Like I need to get the things easily. For example, if it is A, it needs to be A. If it is Z, it needs to be far. So that I will not take like hundreds of hours to figure it out. Okay. So that's known as sort. Sort means it involves prioritizing the most important things to come at first so that it is easily accessible. Right over here, when we have the new RFID system, for sure, arranging the products in alphabetical order won't necessarily organize to be effective. But to be very frank, it is such that how much useful the things are. For example, this is my most important file and I have kept it at the end. Oh, this is the most important product which is highly required to be concentrated. If I'm not taking care, it's not good, isn't it? So things needs to be set in order in the way it needs to be. So it's not necessary always needs to be in the alphabetical order only. Then it is to sanitize, means keep my workplace, keep my warehouse very clean so that even you feel hygienic. So keep your tight, like keep whatever the stuff you are doing very tidy and neat so that you don't end up doing like you, whatever the things are. So don't keep everything on floor, keep it in shelves. Why are the shelves made? Yeah, that way. Then find it out the standardized way. Why? Every time, whatever you are doing it, like if you're getting any order, you take 5 days to book. No, ma'am, please standardize it. Do it within 2 hours. Yeah, you remember in the question it was, okay, the principle is to set the standards to keep the workplace sorted and simple. That is, to keep it at appropriate within 2 hours so that it is not just kept anywhere. Like yeah, within some time, you have to keep it in a standardized manner. Last, whatever you're doing it, don't do it just for 1 day. You have to keep it like the tutorial needs to keep it for like the long time. Yeah, it's not just like for 1 day or 2 days you're done and your work is over. So over here it's self-discipline, means the principle involves ensuring the staff are motivated to make the improvement continuous basis. The continuous basis, yeah. So over here the manager has just initiated ki please do that way, but if the people work it accordingly, they are going to understand it. But otherwise, If it's just for 1 or 2 days, again the situation will be the same which was present. So overall, the manager's changes will help them to make the process more leaner, okay? And they should help to reduce the problems also. So yes, students, this is what the concepts of 5S are. And students, I hope you guys would have understood the first mock paper so pretty well just within a couple of 3 hours. Yeah. So students, what more than that? Yeah, what more than that? I do normally speak very slow. So you have a full authority to like increase the speed and just hear it for once. So students, whatever important topics I have taken up in the YouTube revision are going to be helpful for you. Pretty sure. So students who have not checked up the non-financial indicators, do check. Yes, students. Those who have not checked out the transfer pricing, do check because it is going to be the most important, most important topic, which is obviously going to be appearing in your recent exams. So yes, students, today that's all, and tomorrow we'll be going with the new and another mock paper. So all the very best, and yeah, take care. If you have any doubts, please do message me, please do DM me on Instagram, Telegram, or maybe the chats for sure. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. All the best.